There's a kind of silence that falls over a crypto project after it crashes. The hype disappears, the influencers stop talking, and what's left behind is a community of people wondering how something that once promised so much could fall so hard. And for Jasmy Coin, that silence was especially heavy. A few years ago, Jasmy wasn't just another altcoin. It was being called the Japanese Bitcoin, a project born from the minds of former Sony executives who understood data, technology, and privacy better than most. The idea behind Jasmy was powerful. In a world where tech giant harvests and profit from your personal information, Jasmy aimed to give you back control. The concept was simple but revolutionary. Your data should belong to you, not to corporations. You decide when to share it, who to share it with, and how much it's worth. That mission struck a chord with investors. The vision sounded real. The team had credibility, and Japan's backing gave the project an air of legitimacy. When Jasmy launched, it quickly captured attention. During the 2021 bull run, the price skyrocketed. It hit around $2 per token, and for a moment, it seemed like Jasmy was on track to become one of crypto's biggest success stories. People genuinely believed it could make them millionaires. But then, as the market turned, the dream began to unravel. The crash came fast and hard. Bitcoin fell, and like a domino effect, altcoins followed. Jasmy's once promising chart collapsed. From $2, it tumbled to mere fractions of a cent, around $0.007. For many, it was devastating. Investors who had bought near the top watched their portfolios disintegrate. And when the hype faded, so did the noise. The same people who once shouted Jasmy's name online went quiet. The project was left in the shadows, seen as another crypto casualty. But here's where the story gets interesting. While the world moved on, Jasmy didn't vanish. The team didn't disappear. They didn't go silent out of shame. They went silent to work. Behind the scenes, Jasmy kept building. They continued improving their ecosystem, expanding partnerships, and finding new real-world use cases for their data-sharing technology. While others were giving up, Jasmy was quietly evolving. Fast forward to 2025, and the crypto market is starting to breathe again. Bitcoin has shown signs of recovery, rising steadily and pulling investor confidence back into the space. History tells us that when Bitcoin rises, altcoins eventually follow. And as traders begin searching for undervalued projects with a story to tell, Jasmy's name starts to resurface. People begin to remember that Jasmy isn't a meme coin. It's a real project with real purpose. Its focus on data ownership is more relevant than ever. In a world where every device, every app, and every social media platform tracks what you do, the idea of controlling your own data feels futuristic, almost necessary. That renewed relevance is what makes Jasmy interesting again. It's not just nostalgia driving attention. It's the sense that the world has finally caught up to what Jasmy was trying to do all along. Still, the scars from the crash haven't faded. Many investors remain cautious. They remember what happened last time. They remember the fall from $2 to less than a penny. And that memory makes people hesitate, even now. Trust in crypto is fragile, and once it's broken, it takes more than promises to rebuild it. That's the challenge Jasmy faces in 2025. So when someone asks, can Jasmy recover? Can it make millionaires again? The honest answer isn't simple. It's not a yes or a no. It's a maybe with a lot of conditions attached. The potential is still there. If Jasmy were to climb back even to 50 cents or $1, the returns from its current price would be massive, but the path to that level isn't guaranteed. For Jasmy to stage a real comeback, it will take time, patience, and strong execution. It will take genuine adoption, real partnerships, and a steady rebuilding of confidence. Investors looking at Jasmy today should understand what it really is: a high-risk, high-reward opportunity. It's not something you go all in on. It's not a token you buy expecting overnight riches. It's the kind of coin you hold quietly, with a small portion of your portfolio, knowing that it might take months or even years before anything major happens. And that's okay, because when recoveries like this do happen in crypto, they tend to happen suddenly. We've seen it before. Coins that everyone wrote off come back stronger when no one expects it. They sit quietly at the bottom, then one day, A big announcement, a new listing, or a wave of market optimism hits, and suddenly, that forgotten project is everywhere again. That's the kind of comeback that changes portfolios overnight, and the kind that makes investors ask themselves, why didn't I just hold a little longer? Could Jasmy be one of those stories? Possibly. It has a foundation, it has the vision, and it has the resilience. And in crypto, resilience often separates the ones that fade away from the ones that rise again. The fact that Jasmy is still here, still building, still relevant in discussions about data ownership, that says something. Most projects that lose 99% of their value never recover. They vanish. Jasmy didn't. That alone makes it worth paying attention to. It might not happen tomorrow or even this year, but if market conditions align, if adoption grows, if the world begins to see the real value of owning and monetizing personal data, Jasmy could surprise people. And when that happens, the same investors who doubted it might find themselves watching from the sidelines, while those who quietly accumulated early reap the rewards. So can JasmyCoin recover and make millionaires again? Maybe. It's not guaranteed, and it won't be easy, but it's not impossible either. Jasmy's story isn't one of failure. It's one of survival. It's a story about a project that fell harder than most, but still refuses to die. And sometimes, those are the stories that make the biggest comebacks. Whether you're holding Jasmy, planning to buy, or just watching from afar, remember this. Crypto history is full of coins that rose from the ashes. And if Jasmy's vision finally aligns with the world's needs, it might just be one of those rare recoveries that remind everyone why they fell in love with crypto in the first place. The possibility that even in a market built on chaos, redemption is always one breakout away. So for now, I'm watching Jasmy closely. Not with hype, not with blind optimism, but with cautious curiosity. Because if it ever does recover, if it ever does climb its way back up from these lows, the silence we hear now could become the sound of one of the greatest comeback stories crypto has ever seen. Now, let's dive deep into JasmyCoin. JasmyCoin Jasmy is a cryptocurrency project of a Tokyo-based Internet of Things provider Jasmy Corporation. As a system, the Internet of Things includes mechanical and digital elements endowed with an identifier and the ability to transmit data. The IoT company Jasmy specializes in buying/selling data, and the Jasmy platform connects two categories: service providers and data users. The main goal of the project is to establish a secure environment on the platform where users can exchange data in a trustless manner between IoT devices, computers, cars, phones, and decentralized protocols.